Hey everybody, welcome back to Cool Stuff, etc. My name's Riley. Today we're going to be doing a kind of a new format. I have no video editing skills to speak of, so I'm just going to, I just made a PowerPoint and we're just going to talk about it. First thing off, the music you hear in the background is by a project called Encloaked, Leaving Lanker. I don't have the rights to this. I don't really know if it's like anybody free, whatever. But I did purchase it though, so it is legally obtained. I'll leave a link in the description to the Bandcamp. So I guess a little bit about the inspiration. There's this channel, Daryl Talks Games, and I don't subscribe to them or anything, but he does make this a backlog video that's quite popular, and I watched that, and it kind of inspired me to try this myself, because I too have a pretty lengthy backlog of games on Steam. So I'm going to do this. We're going to go through the whole backlog that I've created, and maybe through the year I'll do an update about how many games I've played and my thoughts on them, whatever. One or two other things before we get started. I'm not obligating myself to finish every game or get all the achievements, but I will do those things if I want to. And with the number of things on this list, I fully do not expect to play or complete everything, but wishful thinking. And then lastly, aside from what's on the slides, it's totally off the cuff. I have no prepared thoughts or notes. I just, I do this for fun, so I'm not trying to Anyways, let's get started, shall we? It's all in alphabetical order. The first game on the list is Arx Fatalis. This is developed by Arcane Studios. It is a first-person action RPG. I think it's kind of like an immersive sim type game. The length is estimated at about 20 hours or so. And so I don't know where I saw this from. I might have seen a streamer playing it, like I think it was Logos maybe. But it just seemed up my alley. I want to get more into the immersive sim genre, and a fantasy one where you're casting spells using the mouse, drawing things on the FC, like an interesting idea. And just in general, I enjoyed the setting and everything. So, I'm looking forward to this one. That's for sure. The next game is Axiom Verge. This game was at the very bottom of my Steam wishlist, meaning that I had added it the earliest, so I thought it's about time to play it. It was only $5 on the sale, so I got it. About 17 hours. Metroidvania, platformer, shooter, and about 29 achievements. Nothing looks too difficult. There are a couple speedrun ones that I remember, but if I don't want to go for those, I won't. But I'm excited. I've heard really, really positive things. Excuse me. About this game. All right, next up, Blaster Master Zero. Now this is another Metroidvania. It is a reimagining or a remastering of an earlier game, an NES game that's also pretty foundational, I think. And I remember playing the original one because it was on some collection of games that I had for the PS1 or PS2, and I don't know how I felt about it when I was younger, but I'm interested in playing some more. So this seemed like a fine place to start. Not too long or anything. Decently positive reviews, so I'm up for it. Next up, we got Bomb Chicken, developed by Nitrome, who were a staple in my childhood. Their Flash games, I played them so much, and it was cool to me when they started doing mobile games, but especially games on Steam that feel a bit more authentic or professional or real, or whatever you want to call it. So, but it's a puzzle platformer where you're a chicken who lays bombs instead of eggs. Again, not too long. Nothing seems too difficult in the achievements or anything. So, I'm excited to play this one too. Next up, this is another game I've had forever. Bone out from Boneville. I don't believe this is even available on Steam anymore, which is how long I've had it. It's a Telltale game from even before the Walking Dead days, so it's a point-and-click adventure game. Very short, based off of the graphic novels of the same name, which I only read the first 2 volumes of when I was younger. They were at like the school's like Scholastic Book Fair. But I really want to maybe get the all-in-one volume and read it, because it does seem like a very cool world, very unique, kind of like low fantasy type stuff, but also kind of cartoonish, and I don't know, it's cool. So I'm interested in this one, but I don't know what to expect necessarily. I have not read those things in a long time. Okay, Call of Cthulhu. It's just like a first-person horror RPG mystery type game, based on the tabletop RPG of the same name. And again, I've had this one for a long time. I am interested in the system. You know, the Call of Cthulhu system that they're using is one of my favorite RPG systems. So I'm excited to kind of explore that. And as the friend in the group who is the forever DM, it's nice to get to be the player, even if it's a simulated experience without other people present. So, yeah, the only possible roadblocks to getting all the achievements in this one probably would be like the multiple endings and finding, different collectibles and stuff like that. So nothing too crazy. I might just save the multiple endings for future playthroughs if I feel up to it, but not gonna be too too thorough, I guess. Castle in the Darkness. This is also a game that I have had for a while. I must have had this game when I was in high school. First played it, I should say. And the length, I wasn't expecting it to be quite so long. But excuse me. You can see that I have played it before. I have 5 total achievements unlocked. I think I have about 4 hours in it, maybe less than that. But it is a Metroidvania. It is quite challenging from what I remember. It's kind of the ilk of that like Super Meat Boy wave where people were making very tough precision platformers, and this is sort of an Metroidvania fantasy spin. So I remember having a good time with it, and I really wanted to go back and play it for a while, so now I am doing that. Okay, next up is Castlevania time. Alright, so this is the Castlevania Advanced Collection on Steam. There are 4 games included, so we'll kind of go through them all. I don't think I need to talk too much about Castlevania. I think everyone kind of understands that. And if you don't, just go play Symphony of the Night, which I have played and I love. So I'm really interested in playing the GBA version. So this is Circle of the Moon, about 17 hours. Nothing too crazy here. Don't know much about this one, as well as Harmony of Dissonance, slightly shorter. These ones I'm not so familiar with, but I don't know, I guess I just trust the franchise to some degree. Aria of Sorrow, I do know quite a bit about. At least I've seen lots of gameplay from. I remember when I was younger, I watched this YouTuber in the very early days of Let's Play channels and stuff, David R64, or I don't know what people call him, X, I think they call him X. And he played Minecraft mostly, from what I remember, and like Oblivion, but he also played this game, if I'm remembering correctly, and I just remember being like, what is this game? This looks so cool. So this is probably if I get this collection, I want to say this will be the first one I play, but I maybe want to play them sequentially, so maybe not, but we'll see. And then lastly, they have Dracula X. This is probably, I don't know, I'm not like super excited from what I've read about this. Is like, they're like, oh, it's one of the hardest Castlevania games. And I played the first Castlevania on the PlayStation Collection, and that shit is unfair. It's just straight up, it's unfair. I mean, it's a game of its time, so I'm not trying to fault it or anything. But yeah, so I just I might just knock this one out first, or maybe second, so I don't have to deal with it too long. But who knows? Maybe I'll like it. Again, it's not too long. only 3 achievements. I think it's like beating the game and beating the game with certain characters found or something. So I'm not sure how many playthroughs. Sorry, it's early in the morning. It's 6:30. I'm up way too early on a Sunday. Okay, let's go next. Corn Kids 64. This is a 3D platformer, like collectathon in the style of like Banjo-Kazooie. And there's a couple games on my wish list that are like that, and it is a genre that I greatly enjoy. So but it's not like a very common thing anymore. You know, we had the ukulele, and I remember playing mostly through that game and enjoying it. And I can't really think of any others. Oh, Hat in Time. I played that, and I really, admittedly, wasn't crazy about it by the end of my playthrough. Which is, I mean, a lot of people love that game, which is fine. I understand why, but just not for me. So this one seemed more up my alley. Seemed more like traditional looking. You know, it has that filter over it. I think that the setting seems fun. It's kind of like Children of the Corn, which seems very odd, but also, you know, fun. So I'm gonna give it a try. Crow Country. This game, I once I get this on sale, this is gonna be one of the first ones I play. I am very, very interested in this. It's a survival horror game. Again, it has that sort of PS1 look, but I think what's really cool about the aesthetic of this game is that even though it's sort of emulating that PS1 aesthetic, it's not totally cribbing from, you know, Resident Evil or Silent Hill or whatever it is. And so it's like it's got its own look to it. The setting again seems very, very unique and cool. And I saw some creatures and stuff. The gameplay seems fun. It just all seems like totally up my alley. So I am of every game on my list, this is probably top 3. This is one that's definitely getting played. So, all right, Devil's Spire. This is like a Kingsfield-inspired roguelike RPG. As you can see, I'm blocking this, but yeah, there's 111 achievements, 25 hours or so. You know, nothing to sneeze at, that's for sure. I will say I'm a little burned out on the roguelike genre. It seems like every other game that comes out now is a roguelike, which, you know, I understand why. You get a lot of bang for your buck. But I don't know, I just don't see the reason for a lot of them outside of, you know, diehard interest in that type of game. So, but this, I mean, the Kingsfield side of it is what's intriguing me. I've played Kingsfield 4, which is the like last Kingsfield game. It was on PS2, and I adore that game. The atmosphere and like the clunkiness and the setting and everything, it's just like my ideal game. So I'm interested in this. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I honestly don't know what to expect, but we'll see. Disco Elysium. Yeah, my friend Rachel has been pestering me to play this, so it's gonna get played. I'm super intrigued. I know a little bit about it, but I just love the idea of like an investigation game with tabletop role-playing elements. I think it seems right up my alley. Very political, very funny seeming, but also kind of has a serious edge to it, I guess. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Down Well. This is another roguelike game. It's a platformer. It's entirely, in my opinion, entirely unique in the genre. I've already played a good chunk of it. I have about 2.5 hours in it. I just started this one pretty recently, and I'm loving it. It is so addictive. I feel like I don't often get pulled into a game like, oh, I need to do one more run. So this game doing that speaks to its quality. And it's also a roguelike that you're not going to have to sink 100 hours into. it's here for a good time, not a long time, you know. So I recommend it even at the point that I've only made it to the 3rd level of 5. So yeah, I didn't really explain too much about what it is, I guess, exactly, but you know, figure it out. You have resources at your disposal. Oh, okay, yeah, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. Truly just one of my favorite games of all time. I love this game to death. I've already beaten it, like full completion and everything on the PS4, and I just wanted to play it again. And I want to play the sequel too, but I wanted to play this one again first. Quite long. I will likely not go for all the achievements in this run. It requires a lot of you. It requires like 3 playthroughs, one being on hard mode, one being a speed run. But there, even in my initial playthrough, where I did like most everything, like I did all the quests, I should say, I didn't like fight all the big monsters that are available. I didn't do the whatever that isle was called, the Black Isle or whatever, where you fight death. I didn't do that either. Sorry. So yeah, maybe I'll try and do some stuff like that this time. But yeah, just a wonderful, wonderful game. If you've not played it, you should play it right now, today. Another RPG, even longer, Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall. I have played Skyrim to death when I was younger. I have very fond memories of Skyrim. I've played Oblivion somewhat. I've played Morrowind for about 20 minutes when I was 13 years old and totally bounced off of it because that game is too complicated for a 13-year-old, at least for me as a 13-year-old. So we're going back to Daggerfall, and this is kind of part 1 of a long-term project to play through the Elder Scrolls games. I think for now I'm going to skip Arena, but I definitely want to play Daggerfall, Morrowind, and Oblivion again. Skyrim, I'm good on Skyrim. Yeah, this is a classic RPG from 1996. Probably the oldest game on my list, I would say. But, you know, different in the ways that matter, but it kind of, it still has that Elder Scrolls goodness to it. And that art right there is just like, that's some of the best art of anything ever, so I'm excited. That's going to be a long one, though. I don't fully understand I don't think I fully have grasped yet the weight of this decision. So we'll see how far I get, but I hope to complete it. The next game is Faith, the Unholy Trinity. So this is, I have admittedly watched a full playthrough of this game from Scary Game Squad. That was a while ago, so I have not committed this game to memory. I feel like I would still go into this not basically totally blind, but a good amount still fresh to me. It's sort of like, it's a horror game. It's sort of in an MS-DOS style, if I'm not miscategorizing it. Top down, where you're playing as a priest, and you're kind of exorcising these demons. Not much to say. I would like to play this perhaps with Katrina. I think she would get a kick out of it, but I don't know. We'll see. As far as achievements go, I think that I don't know. I'm not fully committed to doing them all, but if I'm having fun, I would like to experience the story and all the different endings and stuff. So we'll see. But I don't own it yet. I need to get it on sale. I'm trying to get it on at least a little bit of a sale. You know, money's tight, so. And I also want to mention, this is a good time to mention, I did my best to have mostly games that I own. So far, we've only talked about, like, Castlevania, Crow Country, Devil's Spire, and this game that I don't own. Maybe one more that I am forgetting, but I think that's it. Oh, yeah, so I think that's it. Okay, Fallout New Vegas time. Woo! I am coming to the end of my Fallout New Vegas playthrough. It's been about 60 hours or so, I think, or maybe like 55. So this is a game that I am going for all the achievements in. I've gotten all the endings except for Wildcard. I did save Scum, forgive me, but I don't have time to play through the game 4 times. But yeah, so I'm almost finished. I have to get the Wildcard, and then I think I'll take a break for a minute, and then I'll move into the DLC. I want to play through all of them. I want to get all the achievements in all of them. If you don't know Fallout New Vegas, it is considered one of the best first-person shooter RPGs, or just general RPGs of all time. I do quite like it. I think that it's been hyped up to a degree that maybe it couldn't live up to the expectations, but I mean, I've been having a great time just exploring its world. I love all the different factions and how they kind of interact. It does feel like a kind of a living, breathing world, so I think that's great. We have Honest Hearts. I think this is kind of like a this is the one where he goes to the Divide. Is that correct? I can't remember. Just the guy on the bandaged guy. I think he's like kind of. It's like a second end game in a sense. That can really. I know the ending can really change the. Or I believe the ending can really change the wasteland. So. Then we have Lonesome Road. These are not necessarily in release order or the order I'm going to play them. In fact, Dead Money, I know, is like... This is the one I'm kind of dreading, to be honest. So I think I'm going to start with either Honest Hearts or Lonesome Road, then go to Dead Money, and then do the other two. And probably do Old World Blues last, because this is the one I'm most excited for. I think that the premise, I've seen Northernlion play this a million times. I watch that, like, the compilation edits of this all the time. I'm really excited to explore that world. I think that place seems so fun to be in. Yeah, so that's probably the order. We'll see how things go. Let's get moving because we're only like halfway through this. Okay, Going Under. This is an action roguelike. Again, a little bit tired of the roguelike genre, but this is from Aggro Crab, who have also developed the Another Crab's Treasure, which is not on this list, but it is on my backlog for maybe next year. Because that game seems super cool too. I think the reason I'm putting this on here and committing to playing it is how it looks and some of the mechanics that I've seen. Like, anything can be used as a weapon. I think the premise is really funny and cute. Like the fact that the art style is based on the like, you know, very corporate Google or Facebook or like those Kroger ads with like the very like circular people and the bright colors and stuff. I think that's just really funny. So I'm excited to play it. I think this will be one of the first ones that I get into, in all honesty. So Half-Life. I have played, have never beaten. That length to me, I took this from like how long to beat, and I didn't do completion. I just did like the normal like main story and sides, whatever. 12 hours seems steep. I thought it was a shorter game, so we'll see. I mean, I'd be happy to play it for 12 hours. It seems like a great time. So again, if you don't know what Half-Life is, that's up to you to figure out. At this point, I can't help you. Hidden Deep. If you're familiar with Barotrauma, which I have not played, but I am familiar from Kraken videos. This is, I don't think it's the same developer, but it is the same publisher, and so it's in that same style of like kind of like the wobbly physics, 2D physics platformer type game. This is a horror game. It's got some shooting mechanics. You're kind of delving deep into this cavern, and there's monsters, of course. I have played the first level or two, and just didn't commit to it, so I want to jump back in, restart my playthrough. Because it was a lot of fun, and it seems like one of those games that is going to entertain you through your failures as well as through your successes. I think it's one of those games that doesn't hold your hand in terms of like solving problems or giving you fair warning necessarily for all the dangers that you face. So yeah, I think it's going to be a fun time. It gives me Spelunky vibes, in all honesty, and not just because you're going into the caves, but like it gives you Spelunky vibes because it's kind of like you can, with your tools at your availability, you can kind of like fuck yourself a little bit. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm hyped for that one, I have to admit. Okay, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. This is also the same year as Daggerfall. This is a point-and-click game. This is another game that I tried when I was in high school, and I was not smart enough to do. I got stuck immediately, and it just wasn't for me at the time. But having watched a lot of essays on games of this type and from this time period, I am I feel like I'm primed and ready to love this. I have read the original short story, which I think is pretty great. I think maybe the short story, the setting and the ideas are better than the actual story necessarily, but it's still a classic for a reason. And so I think that this expanded idea, this expanded realization of what that world is, really interests me. So we will see. Yeah, that's one I definitely want to play. Caro Blaster. Okay, this is an interesting one because I have played it, I have beaten it. I want to play it again, and maybe do my best to 100% it. I know it's hard. I know it's kind of the difficulty levels as they get higher are a little unfair. I think it's like a permadeath mode, or like a one-hit mode or something like that. So it's made from the Cave Story developer. I believe it was before Cave Story, or maybe I'm wrong, but it's a Cave Story guy, and it's very similar, mechanically speaking. So, but I think it's shorter and it's just cute. So I'm gonna hydrate for one. My voice is getting, my throat's getting sore. Yeah. So I will see. I think it's a project that might take me the full year, like over, like little pieces of time. But I don't know. It's something that I am interested in trying. We'll see. If I get too frustrated, I'm probably gonna give up. So. Okay, Later Alligator. This is a point-and-click game. I believe it's like hand-drawn, fully hand-drawn, and it's pretty short, but I've heard great things about it. A lot of the reviews are super positive, and just in addition to that, I am familiar with the artists who did animate it, or helped animate it, or like led the animation, which is the Small Butera, who, if you're not familiar with, they did the Batman Spider-Man, which was a staple for me in like middle school, high school. So I don't know. I gotta support. I gotta support some real veterans in the scene. Legend of Grimrock. This is also an excellent game. I've probably plugged in about 10 hours into this in high school again, and again, just too stupid. Guys, I gotta stress, I'm an idiot. I'm not smart enough to beat these games, but I am now an adult. I am 26 years old. I'm going on 27 next month. This is my time. This is my time, okay? This is getting beaten. This is one that I am committing to beat. I'm not doing all the achievements. There's some bullshit in there that I'm just frankly not equipped to handle, but I'm beating the game. That's all I gotta say. We're delving. I should mention that, yeah, it's like a first-person dungeon crawler RPG, very much inspired by the old, like, gold box D&D games, Wizardry, Ultima, etc., etc. But updated, modern, sleek. And the sequel apparently is very good too. Have not played that. Well, I've played it a slight bit. I do own it. I've played it a slight bit, but I need to play more. So that's on the list as well. Probably for next year. Lunacid. This is another game that I am like, this just watching the trailer, I'm like, I need to play this game. This game it speaks to me. It's another Kingsfield. I love that Souls-like is now a genre. But there are people who are like, you know what? Maybe what makes a Souls-like isn't really what does that. So we're gonna go back to the foundations of From Software. We're doing Kingsfield likes now, and I'm here for it. Truthfully, I would play every game that gets made in that genre. That's for me right there. So yeah, I'm super excited. Waiting for a good sale. I've only ever seen it at like 20% off, I think, but I'm keeping an eye on it. I'll have to bite the bullet at some point. This is super high on the priority list. Okay, this next one. This is a big one. This is a big one for sure. I have a couple big games on here, but this game in particular is one that I see myself just like plugging into here and there. Like, I'm not gonna play it every single day for like 3 months at a time, I'm gonna be like, you know, here and there, like, oh, it's a Saturday morning. I don't know what to do. I'll play some Monster Hunter. You know, got into the series with Monster Hunter Try on the Wii. I was probably, I don't know, I must have been like 11 or 12. I don't know. Could be wrong. Maybe it was high school too. But anyways, loved that game. Played that game to death with my friends. I still have the like demo disc that I got from GameStop for pre-ordering it. Shout out to Nintendo Power. Rest in peace as well. They got me. You know, they hooked me up. This is another game that when Dark Souls came out, I clocked it as very similar to Monster Hunter. I think that Monster Hunter is a very similar game to Dark Souls, especially earlier on. Like Monster Hunter Try is just like a big boss battler with rolling mechanics, health management. You know, it's yeah. I think it's a bit more hack and slashy for sure. It's not like as total. Like it's a bit more mindless in a sense. Not non-derogatory. It's a bit more mindless. At least in the early, I've never, I'll have to admit this, I've never gotten to like the master rank shit, so I could be talking out of my ass here, but this is a game that I want to complete the main story. I want to do a lot of the side stuff. I put the achievements as 100. I just realized that Sunbreak, which is like the big DLC, is like half of those. So if I really enjoy my time with this, I'm gonna probably get that as well, but that'll be maybe next year. Yeah, I have a couple friends who own this game, so I'm going to try and rope them into coming back, because I know they've put quite a bit of hours into it, and I might need someone to help guide me. Okay, next. This is a free game on Steam, and I have heard amazing things about it. It is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it is made by somebody who worked on games like Ultima, and this is like a passion project for them. It's a solo dev. It's very much a top-down, old-school RPG. And yeah, this is another game that, like, I mean, this is the kind of game that like restores your faith in humanity, just hearing the story of how it's made. So I'm all in. I'm super excited for this one as well. Okay, Out There Somewhere. This is a weird one, I think, because this is a game that on Steam it says I have like 5 hours in. I don't remember shit about this game, but it's bothering me that I have so many hours in it and it's not like at least beaten. So I'm gonna give it a try. It's like a platformer. I don't know if it's a Metroidvania or not, but it's definitely a platformer, kind of like a 2D shooter. So yeah, I think I do have a memory of this game where I got like soft lock or something, and at the time I didn't know what that meant, and so I was like, okay, I'm done. Just didn't finish it, so I don't know. Anyways, I do want to beat this one. Now, it's very, very short, so I'm not super concerned. Okay, next up. Psychopomp. I think this is releasing this year. At least that's what Steam says, but I can't find any other release date, so. Again, another super short game. Probably the shortest on this list. It's a horror game. It seems like it's a first-person kind of grid-based dungeon crawler type. Oh my god, sorry. Yeah, I don't know. It was free. It just looked cool. It seemed like a very cool. It's a little anime, and as you know, I'm not like, you know, I don't have the strongest positive opinion on anime, but I'm willing to look past it for a good game. So we're gonna try and see. And there's also Psychopomp Gold. So if I really like this, I will probably play that as well. Puzzle Agent 2. I gotta finish Puzzle Agent. This one, I mean, I like the first Puzzle Agent. I'm excited to play this one. However, I will say with the addition of achievements now, it's a little frustrating. The achievement is like, beat the game with completing every puzzle on your first try. What? Who's got the time, dog? Anyways, it's a point-and-click puzzle game. It's not like a point-and-click puzzle game in the sense of like a Monkey Island or something where you're like, oh, I found this item and I'm gonna go put this item, combine it here and open this door and yada yada. It's like go here, talk to these people, do an actual puzzle, like a puzzle completely separate from like the main like world of the game. But the first one was a lot of fun. I streamed it and that was a good time. So let's see. Another Telltale. I have a lot of Telltale games on here. I have a lot of Telltale games in my backlog. So we'll see how much I get through. But Sam & Max, again, this was, I think, introduced to me by Nintendo Power. It's a point-and-click game. I have both seasons, so there's like, this is why it's Sam & Max 101. So I have 101 through, I think, 106, and then 201 through 205. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm intrigued. I think the games look fun, so I'll try it. Signalis, another survival horror game. So this and Crow Country, to me, are like two games that I'm going to play. Like of the survival horror genre, I love that genre. These are games that are kind of like becoming modern classics. I need to play these games, so I'm very, very, very intrigued in doing so. Oh God, man. Anyways, only a little bit left. Here we go. Scald Against the Black Priory. This is another old school RPG. I think it's a bit more tactical, a bit more party based than like a Daggerfall or something. So yeah, I don't know if the music stopped or not, but we're gonna keep rolling. Anyways, yeah. So I'm interested in this game. I kind of bought it blindly just based on the aesthetic. I really love how the game looks. So I'm not totally sure how much I will, how much I'll get out of it. But oh, there's more music. But I am greatly interested in playing it at the very least. So I'm gonna give it a shot. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear my cat meowing. Sorcery Parts 1 and 2. Loved Munchkin. When we played the shit out of that game, played it to death. I don't think I can look at that game anymore without having a strong reaction to it. But this is the same guy, and it's he is he's an old head. He's an old head in the genre. He was there basically since their inception. So this is kind of like a choose your own adventure, text-based RPG type game, and I'm super into it. Alright, Space Wreck. This is sort of like, it's a CRPG, sort of seems influenced from Fallout 1 and 2. I just think the art is beautiful and creepy and awesome. I think the setting is great. I have no knowledge really about the systems or anything, but I just, on the basis of the art and the look of the game alone, they sold me. So Strong Bad, it's a cool game for attractive people. This is just episode 1. If I play through episode 1 and I enjoy it, I will likely play through the rest of the series. There's 5 episodes. This one I did play back in the day. I owned all 5 of them, again, through Nintendo Power. I think I learned about the game. I had known about Homestar Runner before that, but I learned about the game through Nintendo Power. And I played it on the Wii, and I think that I have good memories of it, but I think that I just think my brain wasn't developed enough to appreciate Homestar Runner. We had a good thing going. So, anyways, yeah. Oh yeah, okay, The Desolate Hope. This is one I don't know what to expect. It is Scott Cawthon from Five Nights at Freddy's. It looks insane. It was free on Steam. I assume it's like a horror RPG type thing, so I don't know. I'm interested to try it out at least. And if I don't like it, no harm, no foul. So we'll see. The typing of the dead overkill. It's an FPS typing game. I played it a little bit so far, and I'm having a good time with it. It's kind of a mindless, game, but I like the the exploitation film kind of framing. So I'm having a good time with it. I'll definitely play through the full main story, but I don't know if I'll do any of the side stuff or extra stuff. But fun for a little bit. Okay, this is another free RPG. on Steam. It came out this year. I just, again, love the look of it. I think that I'm realizing that I can be sold on a game if it looks like this. So, yeah, another top-down RPG in the old-school style. I'm looking forward to this one a lot. Of the games on this list, it's kind of cool to me that the free games, this and Moonring, are the ones that I'm like mostly feeling excited for. I just love that there's dedication to this style of game still. All right, Vampire Survivors. Vampire Survivors. I don't think it needs no introduction. It's another roguelike, but unlike other roguelikes, it's not just a reskin of one of the main like big four roguelikes. So it's something. It's very addicting. It's very fun. I've only played it for about 30 minutes, but I got Katrina into it, and she probably played like 20 hours in 1 week, and maybe burned out a little bit on it. But yeah, I would like to get all the achievements of the main game. I think the 220 achievements listed here are DLC included, so we'll see how far I get in that. I don't know. So I don't know. This is another game that I might just like plug into, kind of like Monster Hunter, every once in a while, you know. I'm into it. And then I think two more. We have Vampire the Masquerade Heartless Lullaby. This is another super short game. It was free. I do like Vampire the Masquerade as an RPG, as a setting. And this is just a very quick sort of little isometric RPG. Not much else to say. So this is going to get played for sure. And it will kind of inform me about the other like text-based ones that I'm interested in playing, as well as Bloodlines, which I own and do intend to play at some point. So, and lastly, we have Zeo Drifter. This is another game that I have played slightly before. Very short, small Metroidvania. Of all the Metroidvanias on this list, this is to me the most Metroid of them. But yeah, this is gonna be another. I like having just a few little fun games in between. So I think it's gonna be a good one. I do have high hopes for this. So I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you watched the whole thing, I hope that you enjoyed. I think that I'll try maybe at some point to, do an update maybe halfway through the year, or a quarter of the way, whatever. Whenever I'm feeling motivated to do so, or feel like I have a lot to say. And yeah, so yeah, thanks again. You can feel free to like and subscribe if you want to. That's what you're supposed to say. So I'm saying it. I do stream sometimes if you want to check it out. I'll leave the link in the description. I'm not committing to doing weekly streams or anything, or even weekly uploads. I just do it when I want to. So yeah, with that being said, take care. Have a great holiday season, whatever you celebrate, and a good new year. Happy New Year, as they say. That's the saying. Happy New Year. All right, see ya.